Okay, very good morning, guys. Fine. So last day we just been working with migrations, right? So we completed automated migrations, and we just wanted to do the code first migrations. I think we created a project also, right? Yeah, we created a project also for a code first migration. Yes, we stopped here. Exactly, we just stopped here. Let me open the project. Yes, guys, we have even ran the application, generated the database, everything is set ready now. Now I want to make some changes. Don't forget the default what you are using is create database if not exist. The strategy what you are using is create database if not exist is the strategy what you are using up here. Okay, now fine. Now I want to use migration and not the automated migration. What I want to use the code first. It is the what is that client? Sorry, not an automated migration. What you want to go for is manual. Okay, code based. So if at all you want to go for a manual or a code based migration, what you require to do is you require to run a command, just like how we ran a command yesterday. Remember, code first migrations, automated migrations enable true. Correct. Same like we require to run a command, guys. Now open the package manager console. And the command what you require to run is just enable migration. That's all. Yesterday, what you ran enable migration, code first migration enabled colon $true. Correct. That is automated. But for code based, simply what you require to just do is only enable migrations. That's all. We require to run this particular command, enable migrations. So come on, let's run the command, enable migrations. This action will do checking if the context targets an existing database. Yes, it is targeting an existing database. Basically, when you do that, again, the configuration class is generated, see. But watch. What you saw yesterday? What you saw yesterday? Automated migration enabled true. Now you're saying false. Rest all same only, man. Rest all same only. This one I explained you. This one I explained you. Only thing is yesterday we saw true and today we are seeing it as false. Okay, now what next? The next thing what you just required to do now is actually yesterday it created you the configuration class. Then we applied the configuration class in our context. Today, guys, we have it generated the configuration class. Apart from that, it will generate you another thing also called as a file called like a snapshot file. Basically, it will generate you a file like this. Yeah, timestamp. Do you remember the same name in entry is made for you? So what exactly it has done is, whenever the first time you create it, an entry is made in the database now. What is the entry? Initial create. Yesterday I also shown you. What is the name of it? Underscore underscore migration history. An entry is made. Basically, it is taking this one, and here also it created a file with the same name, say. So what exactly is it doing, you know? It is taking that information, and based on that information, it was generating you a file with two methods, a class called as initial create, with two methods in it, up method, down method. What up method contains? Up method contains the code for creation. See there, a creation. Down method contains the code for dropping. And right now, what information it has taken? It has taken the existing tables information. See, student ID, it's a nullable false, identity true. Name is string, class is integer, nullable false, section, string, max length 1, Unicode false. Got it? So with the existing information, it will create you a file like this. It is going to store you, okay, this is the starting stage. So it gathered all the starting stage information and created a file. Now, whenever you make a modification, it will create you a file like this. It will create you a new file with only the changes, for example, I am going to add a new. I'll go to the student, and inside of the student, I will try adding a new column here. I'll try adding a new column, any column I just wanted to add. And whenever I add a column, I require to run the command again now. I require to run a new command with the updated information. Now, basically here, it is not like running. It's not like running. We don't run, not like running, guys. We require to run some commands, basically. For example, I just wanted to add a new column into my things now. The new column. Public, float, fees, get, set. A new column now. Okay? Nullable or non-nullable? Nullable. What I require to do, I require to open the package manager console now. And I require to create a new migration. How to create? The command is add hyphen migration with some name. Any name you like update one. I'm going to give a name like an update one now. Whenever I make another change, update two, so that I'll have a track of all my changes now. See, the initial create is telling you, initially this is the structure. Now, if I say update one, it will create another file with only the updated changes. Update two with only updated. So tomorrow you'll always have a track of all the changes you made time to time. Understood my point? So anytime, initially, how is it? Open that initial create. It will show you the information. Initially, this is a structure. In update one, they added this. In update two, they added this. Like this, all the information you can see now. That is the reason why it created a file called as initial create. Got it? Huh? So guys, let's do it. What is it? I require to open the package. I require to just add a new migration. How to add? Add hyphen migration. some name. I'm giving a name like a school DB hyphen V1, like version 1 or update 1, whatever name you want to give it guys, no problem. Copy. And this is the command what I should run. This is only a name, some name. This is the command, some name. It'll add you another file, see, with this. Done now. Oh, okay. What happened is I did not save this. Because I did not save this, okay, it created, compiled it. Okay, when I look in the folder, oh, it took time. It did not generate immediately. It took time, that's all. You see, the new version, up method, what it contains, see, down method. So after a month, so many changes are made. You can open these files and you can verify now what changes have been made in which version. Got it? Okay. So you have another option also, rollbacking. Rollbacking option is available now. I'll tell you how to do it. But two methods. One is an up method, one is a down method. Up method contains the code for creation, down method contains the code for drop. Got it? Okay, fine. So if you observe this one, initially, first we ran this command. See, this command will create the configuration class same as we saw in the case of, but in this case, configuration class constructor will have automated migration enabled is equals to false because we're using code-based migrations now. And this command also creates a timestamp underscore initial create.cs file containing an initial create with up and down methods as following: up method, down method. As we see, the up method contains code for creating database objects and the down method contains code for dropping or deleting database objects. You may also write your own custom code for additional configuration, and that is the advantage of code-based migrations over automated migrations. Code-based over automated migrations. Now go to SchoolDB context class and write the below code in its constructor by importing the namespace. By importing the namespace, you're required to write this code. I hope you remember this code. Yesterday we saw that. The same code. Okay, we need to write this in which class? Context class. We require to write in the context class. So let's copy and write the code. From now, whenever we make changes to existing model classes or add new model classes, we need to create a new migration class by using the add migration command in the package manager console with a name to the class, any name as following. This is a new change, this is a migration. Now add migration will add you. It is not still synced with the database. It is not still synced with the database. Watch, it's not still synced with the database. If it is synced with the database, we'll have one more entry here. Right now, will it sync with the database means? No, it won't sync with the database. Why? Because you did not connect it with the SchoolDB context now. Are you required to do the set initializer, migrate to latest version, two parameters, context class name and the configuration name now. The two has to be given. Okay, and this code I explained you already yesterday. This code I explained you already. This configuration namespace is not imported. That's the reason for the error. Using dot, which folder? Migrations is the folder. And now guys, all set now. So now I can go for syncing it now. How to sync? No need to run the project here. Here, it's not like running the project. You're required to run a command now called as update database. You're required to run a command called update database. When you call update database, it's going to update you the database now. See, update hyphen database. Yesterday, we need to run the project. When we run the project, additional records are getting inserted. Did you remember that? But you're not like this here. It is going to perform an update. See, if you see, applying the migration, running the seed method. We don't have a seed method, but it's running the seed method to check if there are any changes now. If you see initially seed method has some code here. Afterwards, you added something now. Now again, it runs the seed method and tries to check whether this data is synced or not. Okay. It executes some commands basically. If you want to see the commands, you're required to use minus verbose. What commands? How do you add a new column in a table in SQL Server? Alter table name, add column name. You remember that commands, na? It'll execute those commands actually. If you want to see them, next time when you call update, use minus verbose. If you say minus verbose, it will show you that commands on the screen. Okay, next time I'll show you. Watch. See there, school DBI file. V1. Yesterday it followed its own naming convention. But today I given my own name. And it is using the same name here. Hope you are clear. So this is what exactly happens to you when you do it. Like this, you can make multiple changes here. Whenever you make a change, you need to just do one thing. What is it? You're required to create one add a new migration, and then you're required to call update. Understood my point here? Okay. Basically, you can create multiple migrations here. You can just create multiple migrations. See like this. I can create, see, the above action will create a new migration file with the name. And in the same way, you can create any number of migration files as above. Whenever we make changes to the model classes and to discriminate between each file, give a different name every time you create, like version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, something. After creating a migration file as above, we must execute the update database command in the package manager console and update the database. And I said here, to view the SQL statements, minus verbose. The above statement, when executed, will run the last or the latest migration file and alters the database based on the changes we have made to the domain classes. Okay. For example, now I'm adding two new columns. I'm adding two new columns. Okay. So come here. I'm adding two new columns, or otherwise, let me show you like one by one only. One by one only, one column. Save it. Again, come here. What you'll do, you need to add a new migration, V2. Add it. No, I should update. Adding that. Fine. Now, I need to update this now. Without updating, what did I do is, without updating, I came here, I saved it. Again, I want to create a new migration, but the old one is not updated, right? When I try to create a new migration, I got an error. Telling you, see, the old migration is pending. First, execute that. After executing that, you can create a new migration. Until then, you cannot create a new migration. Okay, now, so like this, it is just warning you. So what should I do? I need to update it. Shall I update it first? Just a minute. First to put this in the comment. Now come here, update it. Update database. I said you minus verbose. Is now it'll run the up method here. In the up method, you have add method, and it is adding you. See, update, and first what happened? Alter table student, add marks, and float is real. Float is real, not null. Default value 0. And it inserted a record into migration history also now. What is this, sir? I said you the model information is converted to binary format and stored for you. That is what. So now you'll find another entry here. Okay. Now tell me, can I make my new change and can I create a new migration now? I can add a new migration. V3. Because that is applied, it will create the new one. That is applied now. So it is creating the new one for you. At least a new migration is created. Okay. Well, see, the beauty here is you got this one. If you want, you can make some additional changes here. You can make your additional changes. Like what? The data type is string. The data type is string actually. Now listen, the string, basically, I can set up all these things on my own now. I did not do that in my model class. I did not do this in my model class, but here I can just do it now. What? Max length 1000. Okay, comma. And I can also specify the type. How to go? Here you have. Okay, Unicode false. When I say Unicode false, Unicode false. Unicode false indicates what? Varchar. Unicode true is n varchar. Unicode false indicates varchar. See now, I did not do these settings in my model. I can do my settings in this file now. And now when I just try to update, I used minus verbose now. You can see the commands which are applied here. It would be n varchar of max, but now it is varchar of 1000. It is varchar of 1000 now. So now you can just see one more entry was made here. All the new columns what I added now. Understood? So like this, I'm just doing. If at all you want to find out the migrations information, you have a command called as get migrations. What it will get you? It will get you the information of the migrations that are applied on the database. Information of the migrations that are applied on the database. You created a migration but not applied. You won't see that here. What I mean is, come to student, public string, something I'm adding like city. Okay, city. I want to add a new migration, add migration v4. Okay, migration is created. I'm not applying the migration, guys. Without applying the migration, I'm calling get migrations. The v4 will not be shown in the list. Why? You did not apply that v4 still. You can see now it's showing until v3 only. v4 is not in the list. Why? v4 is not still applied. Shall we apply it? And now, guys, you did not make a change to the varchar, so it will take n varchar of max. You did not modify it. So it is taking you n varchar of max. Until now, you applied 4 migrations now. First one is initially that is automatically applied, and these are all the 4. And in automated, until and unless I run my project, this migration won't apply. But here only command based. That's what code based, completely command. This is a good option. That's why the suggested one is also code based only. And I said, when you go to NT Framework core, there is no automated option available. What you have is only code based. Only code based migration is available. Automated is not available. Okay. Fine. Now, if you observe it, yes, these are the commands here. What is it? Rollback. What is this rollback? What is the rollback is? Guys, I made some changes. I want to remove the last change. I want to remove the last change. If you want to remove the last change, you can just perform a rollback. How? Copy the name of the migration. I want to come back to here. I want to roll back this. I want to come back to here. Okay. So come here. Just watch. The same command, update database. Now give the name of the migration. Give the name of the migration minus verbose. Now it will use the down command now. The down command has the code for dropping, right? I think wrong. Update. Oh, sorry, guys. I should use this. What is it? Target database. I missed this. Then I should specify the version. Oh, I don't require to give this timestamp here. The name what you're given is enough. The name what you're given is enough. What is your name? The timestamp is not required. School DB-V3. That name is enough. It should run the down command, and this will also remove that entry in the watch. It is just trying to write some code here. Alter table, drop. And it deleted that entry also here, see. It deleted that entry also. Okay, that entry also has been deleted. So basically before deleting, it was checking if there are any constraints on that. If there are any constraints on that, the constraints also should be deleted. So first it will drop the constraints, and afterwards it is going to drop you the column. So if you come back here, now you don't have 5 list here, you have only 4C. Got it? Yes or not? So I want to come back to the starting state. Sorry, before that, just when you remove this, when you alter this, you rolled back to V3, right? Don't think like this, it will delete the file. It won't delete the file. The V4 file is not deleted. If you want to delete, you only should delete it. You only should delete the file, as well as the properties also. You only got to remember all those things you only require to do. It won't delete automatically. Got it? Okay, if you feel that I don't want this anymore, you should come here and explicitly delete the appropriate files. And come here and remove the property also. All these things. These all changes should be done by you only. So I want to bring back to my starting stage again. I want to roll back all my changes. Yeah, you can. What is that? InitialCreate. What is that? InitialCreate. It will roll back all the 3 migrations now. Everything. See, first 3 is roll backed, 2 is roll backed, 1 is roll backed, and again brought everything to starting stage. Observe. But these files and all, you only should delete it. Got it? These files and all, you only should delete it. I think there is a method remove migration. Remove. Okay, it was added in .NET Core, not in .NET Framework. There is a file, like command like remove migration. It will remove the last migration file. The command is not here. We have this in .NET Core, not in .NET Framework. In .NET Framework, manually we should remove. So come here, delete. All are deleted. Now come to here, and all these things also we should delete. If you create it here, just you understood the concept. This is based migration. Like this, we have 2 different types of migrations that are being applied here. What is the first one? Automated. Second one, code based. Automated migration and the code based migration. Okay. Default, automated implicit, automated implicit. And if you go for automated explicit, then we run some commands and do. Even code based is more controlled. It is more controlled. Everything will be in your hands, your control. That is the advantage with the code based migration. So it's all about your code first approach. Am I clear with code first? I shown you DB first as well as I shown you code first, both the two things. Next, model first. And I said you clearly, guys, I'll show you roughly an example, but this is useless option. Don't use this anytime. This is not the correct way to do this also. Okay, that's why this option is not available in our core. In core again, they removed of this particular option. Okay, but just to give an idea, tomorrow someone asks in interview, you should be in a position to answer. That's why I'm just showing you, but still don't use this. Okay, so what is that? The model first. Here we will be using a designer, and through the designer, oh, okay, guys. Wow. MF model first. Okay. So basically, add new item. Now just understand all this data, ADO.NET NT model, give some name. Four options are there here. Look at the first one. That is DB first. That is DB first. Third one, code first. We did not use that without use manually ran it. Fourth one is code first from database. What is that code first from database? Means you have a database, but you don't have tables. You have a database here, but you don't have tables. So what it will do? It won't create the database here. It will connect it to the existing database and it will create the tables for you. Did you understand or not? It won't create you a new database. What it will do? It will connect it to an existing database and creates all the objects to you there. Empty code first means it will create your database also, tables also, everything. But code first from database means database is there, only tables will be created. Second one, that is a model first. That is a model first approach. Model first. These two are code first only. Finish. Directly finish. What it will give you? It will give you a designer to do the designing work. Verify if NT framework is installed. No, guys. I said you I'm facing I did not get it. So same story. What do you? Okay. It provided me a empty designer. In the first one with DB first, there also it has the designer like with all the tables. Whatever selected tables are shown here. But here we did not configure with the database now. That's why tables or nothing is coming here. Okay. What to do? You're required to design the database manually on your own now. You're required to design the database manually on your own now. How, sir? I'll show you. First, let me drop unnecessary databases from here. Oh, only one now. Remaining all we dropped, I think. Okay. Right click. You're going to add an entity now. It'll ask you, what is the name of the entity? I want to give it as department. Department. Then it'll ask you, do you have any base type? No. And see, entity set departments means in the context class, we have a DB set now. That name now, departments. Yeah, departments only now. Next, do you want to create a key column with the name called ID? I'll create you for you, it is telling you. If you want a different name, give your own name. Otherwise, it is telling I'll create you a key column for you. And click on the OK button. See there. Array, we got this earlier when we selected tables here, but now you're manual designing. What next? Right click on this, add new, scalar property. Scalar property and give a name for it. Dname. Dname. Go to its F4, go to its properties. Now do the settings here. Unicode. False. Max length 50. Okay, nullable true. Nullable true. Okay, or nullable false. Default is nullable. Leave whatever you want in this. And anything type. You can do all the settings from here now. Done. Add new scalar property. Location. Unicode. False. Type is string. Here I want to set nullable true. Here I want to set max length as 50. Do your own changes, man. Okay. Again, right click, add new entity, employee. Click OK. Add it. Name. Job. Add it. Now one by one column, set the properties now. Ename. Unicode false. And nullable. No, nullable false. Name is a mandatory field I want. Okay, nullable false. Max length 50. Job. Unicode false. Nullable true. Max length 50. Salary. First to take the type now. Till now the type is string. When I change the type, immediately properties will change there. Properties will change there now. Go for decimal. Immediately properties are changed up. See that Unicode, all these things are gone off. Okay, you want it to be nullable or not? It is asking. No, salary is a mandatory field. Nullable false. Okay, then precision scale. I want the precision to be 10 and scale to be 2 or 12 comma 2. 12 comma 2. I can set it now. Next. See if you want any default value also you can give. Status. First type Boolean. Nullable, false. It should not be nullable. Default value, true. The default value is true. Okay. So see, store generation pattern. Basically, it is asking, do you want this to be an identity? No, 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 not an identity. Why? Already ID has that identity now. ID already applied that identity now. Okay, if you don't want identity, you can remove it from here now. None. Here also, this ID also, I'm removing to none. So no ID generation now. ID should be manually generated. Okay. Do you want a relationship between the two? Yes or not? Yes, sir, I want a relationship between the two. Okay. Right click. Association. Right click and say association. It'll ask you. Based on the existing tables here, it is only taking the information and trying to tell you this is what I identified. If you want to change anything, change. Entity framework is doing some identification and asking you if you want to change it, anything now. See there, parent is department, child is employee. And it's telling one-to-many relationship. What is that? One department, multiple employees. No, sir, I don't want like this. I want a menu to menu. I can change. I want one-to-one. And notice it carefully based on the changes, the navigation property names are changing. Did you notice? Watch. One, many. Many to many. One employee can be working in multiple departments. Wrong. Just giving an idea, that's all. And see, 1 to 0. One-to-one relationship. One employee can have one department can have one employee. I said you an example, remember? Sportsman and spouse. I given you an example in that scenario. So what we want is one to many. Okay now? So these navigation properties are going to be defined with these names. Read this. And you also have a checkbox there. Say, shall I add a foreign key column for you in the employee? Why you don't have? So let me add it. It is asking. Okay, select it. Noticed it. Navigation properties came. The relation between the tables is shown here. All happened. Clear? Okay. So this is what happens exactly when you try to use the model first approach. The model first approach. Like this, whatever tables you want, you can add them. You want another table? Yeah, right click, add a table. Like you want another table to have a relationship with employee table to that table, just fine. Where employee can be a parent and another table can be a child table. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, what you're required to do, right click. No. I'm sorry. Generate database from model. You're required to click on that option. Click. Open. Now, new connection. Coming to the database, we want a database now. I want a database now. I don't want to select any database. I want a database now. I want to create a database with the name called as company DB. What is the name? Is that existing? Not existing here. Not existing. When I click on the OK button now, just understand when I click on the OK button, something is happening. Wait. Asking, would you like to create it? Yes. It'll create up the database to you now. It'll create up the database. And from here, the same old story now. Guys, if you see this, it has given a different name here, see? Array, there it is a test, like a DB entities, something. But here it is giving the name as its own choice here. No matter. Save the connection string and the config with this particular name. And that doesn't matter for me at all. Okay, click on the. Now it will generate the DDL commands for you. For create tables. The commands are generated. First, table, employee table creation, establishing the constraints. Now the constraints are not applied, they're applied for your table level. You have two ways to apply the constraints now, column level, table level. Basically what happens is first it will create of the tables. After creating the tables, it will alter the tables and add the constraints. First it will create the tables here without any constraints. Later on, alter the table and add all the constraints. That is what this is called as a script file. It will generate a script file like this. And these files are generally saved with a .sql extension. Where is it saving? See? Models folder only, it is saving the file for you. Click on the finish button. As a warning, we got that in DB first also. I just ignore it. Don't bother. Okay. This is the file. And look here, guys. You have an execute button here. On the left side top, you'll find execute button. Click. It opens a window and asks you, where should I execute them? Local. Your server. Good stuff. If you want Azure, you can go to Azure. Now it is local. Now, which authentication you want to use? SQL authentication. Yes, say 1, 2, 3. Database. Oh, asking. Trust server certificate. You'll find an option here. Trust server certificate. Make it true. Make it. Now load it. Choose your database. What is it? Company DB. Encrypt true or false, whatever it is. False, when we are creating, we set it false, na? Same. But don't forget, you're required to choose this option, trust server certificate. Then click on the connect button, connected, and statements executed. Refresh. Created of here. No migration histories and all now. No migration histories. All these things are not done. So done. Got it. Okay. So just created you the things now. What next? The next thing I'm not going to say anything for you. Check it out here. This is the context class. It has a different name, that's all. That is only your context class. You can open and see. You know this. And here are your model classes. The rest is what you require to do. What is it? Add the controllers and try writing the rest of the code. That's it. I'm not showing you that. Do it out. Okay, add the controllers and create the views for performing the insert, update, and delete. Only thing is how that wizard has to be used. I just shown you that only. So with this action, tell me, it only created the database and tables now. It only generated the model classes. Everything is done by me. Sorry, NT framework. I did not do that. I used a designer. The designer generated me the model and the context class, and the designer generated me the database objects also. Everything done by NT framework. Tomorrow, if at all you just want to add any new thing here, right click and you can go for update. Update. It should bring you an update of the things. No, it should be again generate only. It should be again generate only. Should be used again now. Again, the generate option. No changes now. That's why we don't have anything. But suppose if you make any changes here, when you click on the generate, it will give you the new updated SQL file. What just required to execute again. Okay. So like this, we are just going to use the model first approach here. Read it. It will create your model classes. It will create your context classes, and also it will generate the database script for you that is required. Okay. It's a wizard, guys. You're required to run the wizard. I given the screenshots also for you, like what happens for a department employee. All the settings is mentioned, you see. Set these properties accordingly. Relationship. Is how the model is generated for you. Executing the things. Okay, now. Okay. So just all the settings. And once you do that, everything is set ready for you. Everything is set ready. All generations will happen to you as per your specification, whatever you have given. Okay. So just, I don't want to focus on this also, guys. It's a waste option. Should not be used. No control, not suggested or the recommended one. But still, because there is an option available, I shown you that, that's all. But still, I don't want to focus much on that approach at all. Okay. Yeah. Fine. The next topic we are going to learn in our discussion is about here filters. The next topic is filters. What are these filters and why do we need them? Filters, what are these? Basically, filters actually are like triggers in your SQL Server. Filters are like triggers in your SQL Server. What will triggers in SQL Server do? What will triggers in your SQL Server do? Code first here. I said you already. What approach is used? Code first. I clearly said you on the first day only. Code first is the first option. DB first. Model first is not used. Code first only. Tell me what is the need of a trigger? What will they do? I'm not able to hear anything at all here. You're whispering in your mouth. Louder. Again, you're repeating the same thing only. I would continue the class until you come out of your mouth. If it sounds out of your mouth. How much time you want to waste is your choice. What is it? To validate. No. Why will trigger handle error? What is the trigger first? What is a trigger? Triggering? Why you're talking about stored procedure? I did not get you. I did not get you. Come again. Triggers are implicitly called. What will they do? You're right. Triggers are implicitly called. When? You're right. Triggers are implicitly called. When triggers are called? Whenever a DML operation is performed. Whenever a DML operation is performed, a trigger will come into picture, and what will it do? It will execute some logic here. What does the procedure contain? Some logic to execute. When you call a procedure, it will execute the logic. Trigger is also same only. Trigger is also same only. It is going to execute some logic. Execute some logic. What logic? That is your choice here. What logic you want to write? Why you're generalizing and telling logins like that? Why your security and all this nonsense? Logic can be anything. It executes some logic. Understood? Yes or not? So point number one, a trigger is like a stored procedure, but gets called implicitly whenever a DML operation is performed on the table and executes some additional logic. For example, I have a table. In the table, there is a string column. There is a string column. And when inserting values into the particular table, specifically that column should contain its value in uppercase. Should contain its value in uppercase. But who will insert the data into this table means people will insert data into this table from different places. Means from a web application, from a mobile application, from a desktop application. Sometimes directly a management studio insert. Anything can happen. So only one person doing or one application doing, I can control. Yeah, when different applications are doing, how can I say everyone uppercase values only should be entered? I can't do that. So write a trigger. Write a trigger. And what this trigger is going to do now, you know? The trigger basically will help you in performing the action. Write one trigger now and write the logic in the trigger for converting that value into uppercase. Whenever an insert operation is performed on this table from any application or manually, whenever a DML operation is performed, the trigger will come into picture, will automatically convert the data into uppercase. Your mobile application can insert, web application can insert, desktop application can insert, or manually can insert. Whoever inserts, doesn't matter. Trigger comes and automatically does its work. Got it or not? Okay. So this is basically a trigger is same like this. In our MVC, we have something called as filter. A filter is also same like a trigger. We use these filters to execute some extra logic in different scenarios. What are the scenarios here? First scenario, before the execution of an action method or after the execution of an action method. Did you understand me? Before the execution of the action method, same way. Before the execution of an action result, after the execution of an action result. Got it? Did you learn in SQL triggers or like different types? After triggers, instead of triggers. Yes or not? This basically tells you when the trigger executes actually. What is after trigger? After trigger means the trigger will fire after the DML operation is completed. Means insert is done. First the value will be in the lower case. Now the trigger fires, will perform an update and updates the value to uppercase. Got it? Same way we have something called instead of triggers. What are instead of triggers? These are like before triggers. What is it? Before the trigger of, before the DML operation is performed, this trigger will fire and updates the value and directly sends the uppercase value. Means insert only will insert an uppercase value. But after trigger, first it will insert you lowercase updates. But if I go for a before trigger, means instead of trigger, what it will do? Before the value is inserted only, it will convert into uppercase and directly insert you the uppercase only. So one will execute before and one will execute after. Before triggers are called instead of triggers basically. Here also same here. Before the execution of an action method, after the execution of an action method. Next, before the execution of an action result, after the execution of an action result. Are you getting me or not? So like this, we have different options that are available, and this will execute you some extra logic. One more thing is there. 5 options basically. Before execution of an action, after execution of an action, before execution of a action result, after first one action method, second one action result. Before after. Next, on exception. Fifth one is on exception. Means whenever an exception occurred. Whenever a exception occurred. Okay, read this. Understood the first paragraph? In ASP.NET MVC, a user request is routed to an appropriate controller and action method. However, there may be circumstances where you want to execute some logic before or after an action method executes, or before or after an action result is processed. And to achieve this, ASP.NET MVC provides filters. Filters are used to inject extra logic at different levels of MVC framework request processing pipeline, which provides a way for cross-cutting concerns like logging, authentication, authorization, caching. The main purpose of the filters is authentication, authorization, caching, logging. You open a banking website, you try to do some transaction, you try to do some transactions there, close it, but every action you've done there is recorded in the bank's database. Do you know that? When did you log in? At what time you performed a funds transfer operation? At what time you just done a change password? Something you done now. Everything is recorded. That is called logging. That is called as logging. That's why you see in the websites, you log in into a banking website, you logged out. Again, after 2 days, you log in. It'll show you a message on the top. You logged in into the application. Last time you logged in is so and so date and time. Last time you logged in is so and so date and time. It will show you there. How does it know? It recorded. It recorded that. That's called logging. Authentication authorization. Whether you are a valid user to call this particular or perform this action or not. It's called authentication. Authorization. We'll talk about all these things. Cachings. We'll see all these particular things. What is authentication? What is authorization? What is caching? Everything. We can do all these activities with the help of filters. I repeat, we can do all these activities with the help of filters. Through filters, we can do all these particular activities here. So that's what exactly the use of filters is. Initially, ASP.NET MVC framework supported 4 different types of filters. First one, authorization filter, action filter, result filter, exception filter. Whereas authentication filters are introduced with ASP.NET MVC 5. And each filter allows you to introduce logic at different points during the request processing pipeline. What is a pipeline? A pipeline basically, just in simple English, we have a pipeline. The water flows through the pipe now in a sequential order. Same way, your request also will be flowing to the, showing to the resource, routing, it will call in a controller, action method, action result. That's what we call pipeline, one by one process, action result, view engine, converting it. This is called, you cannot skip anything now. Can you directly jump to an action result without a controller? That's basically what we call as a pipeline. So in this pipeline, you can add extra logic in different phases. You can add extra logic in different phases basically. In MVC, filters are classes. Array, like everything is a class only. In object-oriented programming, everything is a class. And all these classes inherits from a predefined class filter attribute and implement some interface. The following table lists filter types and the interface which they implement. Authentication filter. This implements one interface called as IAuthentication filter. These filters run before any other filter run or action method executes. What is it? This is the first filter to execute here. Verifies first whether you're authenticated user or not first. If you're not authenticated, you can't access the resource now. So this is the first filter which runs to you and verifies whether you're authenticated or not. Second, do you know the difference between authentication and authorization first? What is authentication? What is authorization? Authentication verifies what? You're a valid user or not. It verifies your credentials to confirm you're a valid user or not. Authorization? Authorization. Authorization verifies whether you have a permission or not. Whether you have a permission or not. For example, in a company, there is a manager, there is a clerk. Both of them, when they're coming to the office, need to swipe their card. Access card. I need to swipe my access card to enter into my office here. Even the CEO of the company also has to swipe and come in now. No permission to anyone here. Even the CEO also should swipe the card and come. Even my manager should swipe the card and come. I should swipe the card and come. And my clerk also should swipe the card and come now. Everyone has to swipe the card and enter into the office. Are you clearer or not? So everyone has to swipe up and enter into the office. So that is called as authentication. Now the manager, the clerk, both are authenticated, enter the office. Now you need to sign on the company checkbook now. Can the clerk sign? No, no, is not authorized. Can the manager sign? Yes. Understand the difference now. Both are authenticated. Both are authenticated here, but not authorized. Who is authorized? The manager is only authorized, but the clerk is not authorized. Hope you guys are clear. Okay. So that's what exactly authorization is. So authorization happens after authentication, correct? See now, authorization filter, I authorization. These filters are next of and before any other filter run or action method executes. Means the sequence first authentication, authorization, afterwards action method, action result. Now implements, they will run before, after. Before, after, exception. See, authentication filters are purely before. Authorization filters are purely before. Action is before, after. Result is before, after. Exception, not before, not after. Before you don't know exception will come. On exception means when exception occurs. Understood? Before exception, how do you know exception will come? Yes or not? Exception occurred, then it will execute. That is called on exception. Clear? Sir, authentication filters will not run after? No need. You authenticated now. Before only authenticated. Why should I authenticate again now? Are you clear? See, when you're coming into the class, they checked your ID card. When you're going out of the class, do I require to check the ID card again? And stop you if you don't have an ID card? You already checked. Authentication doesn't require that. Authorization also. Okay? Read it. Authentication filters. Understood? What will they check? You're a valid or invalid user. You're a valid or a invalid user. Authorization filters. It's an example for authorization filters. Next. Say, in action filter, two methods are there. On action executing. If you write logic in on action executing, that is a before filter. If you write logic in on action executed, that is an after filter now. Got it? On action executing means before. On action executed means after. Fourth one. Same again, see, on result executing, on result executed. One is before, one is after. Next. These are not like before or after I said, it is only on exception. So 5 filters now. So we can implement, we need to implement this. I'll show you an example. I'll tell you an example. Yesterday, I said you this, I remember or not. When I was, actually we built one application to a client here. The application is going to live on 22nd of this month. 22nd of this month, application is going to live. Nearly 2 months QA testing has been done for it. 1 month UAT testing has been done. What is QA testing? What is UAT testing? QA testing means the testers in the company will test it. UAT testing means clients will test. User acceptance test. User acceptance test. I developed an application here and I feel my application is good. Are you getting my point? I feel my application is good. Okay. And even the testers in my team are okay with that. Are okay with that particular thing. They asked me and I said it will function like that only. Okay, if it's the functionality, we can't do anything. They will just go through the test now. They completed the testing. Now UAT testing. Now my clients will test. Means for whom I build the application, they will test. And they will see how the experience is going to be. Is the experience good or bad? All these particular things, they will come out of it now. They'll tell you all this testing. Okay. After that, security testing will happen. Security testing. Security testing means will identify any vulnerabilities in the code now. Someone if tries to hack your code, how the security is implemented in your application. Is anyone directly able to call the things without authentication? Is all what we call as security testing. Next, load testing will be done. Load testing will be done. What is load testing? In load testing, they will try to, means within a minute, they will try to hit the application like 1,000 users. If hitting the application at the same time, is the application tolerant or not? Or how much time is it taking to process a request? So this particular thing is called as load testing. Load testing. We have tools in the market here. By using these tools, they will do all these activities. There are tools in the market, and by using all those tools, they will perform these particular actions to you. Understood? Okay. So this is what exactly happens to you behind the screen. So security testing, load testing and all. So in the security testing, they raised a few concerns actually. They raised a few concerns. And in the load testing also they raised a few concerns. What concern the lady raised in security testing is some of the action methods means we define the action methods and all. They have some tool. With the tool, they're able to directly call the action methods now, and the action method is giving the result. The action method is giving a result now. Okay. So many controllers are there. So many action methods are there. So what they said is there's no proper security implementation available here, and we're able to call. And what is our imagination? Who can directly call it? Everything should be called from a browser only is what our imagination. But they have some tools. With the tools, they're able to directly call these action methods and get the results now. So they're doing it. So this is the first concern what they raised in the security testing. So immediately we added some authentication logic for that. Authentication logic. We defined a filter. We defined one filter class. We defined one filter. What filter? Authentication filter. So a valid user should be able to access this. Only a valid user should be able to access this. And afterwards, we applied that filter on all the controllers. We applied the filter on all the controllers. Nearly some 10 to 15 controllers are there here. In every controller, 10, 20 action methods are there. If I count action methods, hundreds of action methods are there. But all are present only in 10 to 15 controllers. So what we done is we defined one authentication filter now, and we started applying on all the controllers now. Okay, that's what we are going to see going forward. This is done. There is a login action method. There is a login action method. For a login action, can I apply an authentication? For a login, can I apply an authentication? No, yeah. How will you apply authentication for login? My login requires login, eh? You understand? Login is asking you can access it only if you log in. This is foolish now. Am I right or not? Okay, so this is a concern what they raised. Login was able to call. Login was able to call directly. It's a simple thing. Login, how can we have all these authentications and all? Where login can access is accessible after login is foolish now. If I login only, I can access it. After login, rest of the things are okay. But login, register, these two should not have any authentication. This is the concern what we raised. But they suggested, you're right. But tomorrow, someone should not be able to call it directly and do something. And then we can for some static authentication for that. Some static authentication means a static user ID password we used of in the code now. And directly when it goes to the server, it checks with the static user ID password and opens the login. Means directly someone tries to call also, they don't know the static user ID password. Okay. So they don't know the static user ID password. So no one can directly call it, but we done or achieved it through a filter. The point is not about that. How did we achieve it? We achieved it through a filter. Suddenly last minute you ask me to introduce security for hundreds of action methods and all. How can I do it in a simple way? Write one filter class. Write one filter class. Write all the logic in that and apply this filter on all the controllers. Every action method should pass the filter now. And means what will happen whenever an action method is executing, a filter will come first now. Checks now whether the user is authenticated or not. If the user is authenticated, then it will take you to the next level. Then it will take you to the next level. Did you catch my point or not? So this is what exactly we have done. Another concern raised, where the second concern was raised in the load testing. Load testing. What the concern is? The concern is like, I'm able to hit a action method. I'm able to hit an action method for 1,000 times, in a minute, and it is executing. And the question is valid only now. If 1,000 users hit it 1,000 times, you are right. But the security team said that 1,000 different users hit it, it is valid, but not the same user. Did you get my point? Really, all these are new things, what even I'm learning. I don't know, this type of restriction should be there. Even I was learning new things after I entered into the, after I went into the development industry. Okay, I was learning new things. What is the concern? 1,000 requests I'm able to call, 1,000 requests I'm able to send an action method. And what my point is, correct only. Nah. If tomorrow is a web application, 1,000 users will hit, 10,000 users will hit. Anyone hits also, that action method should be ready to be processed. Got it? The concern, the team said that you're right in your way, but the point you should understand is 1,000 different clients are hitting, it should be accessible, right? But if the same user tries to hit 1,000 times, that is wrong. He's trying to do something mischievous. Are you getting my point or not? The same user is trying to hit it for 1,000 times. That is wrong. Should not be allowed like this. So what should we do? We need to have some rate limiting. Rate limiting. What the rate limiting? Rate limiting in the sense, for one IP address, for 1 minute, these many requests only should be allowed. Did you get my point? For one IP address, 1 minute, these many requests only should be allowed. Are you clear? Suppose some 10 requests, 20 requests. That's all. More than that, that should not be allowed like this. If it tries to do that, you need to block him and ask him to wait for some time to again continue the things. Is the second requirement. And again, here also, so many action methods. For every action method, I need to do that. I cannot write the logic every time. Again, we resolved it only through a filter. We written one filter and we applied that filter on all the controllers. And once we applied the filter on the controllers, automatically, we are able to succeed with it. Actually, we asked our clients, like, this is the security concern. So for 1 minute, how many requests should we allow? I cannot make a decision. I cannot make a decision and take this. Tomorrow client will ask you, why did you restrict it to 2? I taken a decision like 5 and implemented it. Client will raise a question. Who are you to decide? I cannot decide anything here. I can only implement what the client asks. So we put this information before the client and the client said that, okay, restrict it, limit to 20 requests per every minute for one IP address. If different IP address are there, 10,000 requests also it will accept. But one IP address, it won't accept. Okay. So this is the second concern what we have, and we achieved it also through a filter. This is adding some new logic now. So before an action method executes, my filter will run now. Before my action method executes, my filter will run now. And what will it do? It will verify the number of requests that are sent by you till now. And it will count. It keeps on counting now. It keeps on counting. And when it limit exceeds, automatically it will stop you. Understand? This is a before action filter. Earlier I said to you about security. That is a authentication filter. That is a authentication filter. But the second example, what you said is not an authentication filter now. What is it? It is a before action filter. Then action filter, and that too before action filter. Are you getting me? How do we achieve it? We write a class. Based on the requirement, we're required to implement the appropriate interface now. If I want an authentication, I need to write a class and implement IAuthentication filter interface and write the logic inside of that. It will provide you interface means a set of abstract methods. It will provide you with a set of action methods. We implement the logic there. And second one I implemented as a action filter and in here implemented, and this has given me 2 methods for me. What are the 2 methods? Executing, executed. This is before. So I need to implement the logic under this method. Which method? In that, I need to write my logic. So this logic will come into picture before an action method is called and does my filter work now. So did you understand the importance of a filter then? Are you clear about a filter? This is how the filters will be implemented. But luckily, we will implement our own filters, guys. But luckily, Microsoft has already provided you some ready-made filters to you, which can directly be consumed. Some ready-made filters are already provided to you, which can be directly consumed, like child action only, output cache, validate input, validate anti-forgery token, handle error, authorize, allow anonymous. So these one, you don't require to write the logic separately again. They're already available. Means common functionalities which are required. Caching is a common feature that is required for all the applications. Caching is a common feature that is required for all the applications. Are you clear? In the load testing also, this is another concern, another thing that came into picture. What is it? When I'm sending some 1,000 requests to this particular thing, they raised this particular concern also. What are they? This login is taking more time to launch, login, open the app, and all these particular things. That is also another concern what they raised. And afterwards, they tested in two ways: without caching and with caching. They enabled caching and tested and said that after we enable the caching, the performance is good. After we enable the caching, the performance is good. And before that, the performance is bad. So they give dual reports to us. So based on that, we can decide what to do, what is the next step, and all the things. But all these things, we developers don't know what will happen tomorrow after building. How much time will this take in the runtime? I don't know. So that's why load testing, okay, lot of performance testing, securities testings, so different testings will be happening before an application goes to live. Okay, so we have hectic work right now because we have all these particular concerns. Because 22nd, my application is going to live now. Before that, we need to fix up all these things, whatever the security testers are raising, whatever the performance testers are raising. And we achieved all these particular things simply with the help of filters. Clear? So Monday, we'll start up with these filters and try to see how to use predefined filters and how to implement our own filters. Both the two things. Okay, let's stop here, guys.